People say religions are fundamentally the same and superficially different. My proposition is they are superficially the same and fundamentally different. Superficially the same and fundamentally different. What they say about religion, we believe about man. Superficially different, fundamentally the same. That's not true of religion, it's true of you and me, no matter what part of the world we come from. And two things always remain the same: the need of man and the power of God. And so what he really does is goes through his message, and ultimately he presents this. Please follow me now. I'll tie this together. As he presented this in the person of Jesus Christ, he described him in powerful words, captured by one great Scottish thinker. He says this: Jesus was the meekest and the lowliest of all men, but he was so austere that demons fled from him, but he was so meek that little children clung to his presence. Nobody was so half kind towards sinners as Jesus was. Nobody spoke more red-hot, scorching words about sin. He would not break a bruised reed, and his whole life was love. But on one occasion he asked the Pharisees how they expected to escape the condemnation of hell. He was a dreamer of dreams and seer of visions, but for sheer reality he was much more real than any of the self-styled realists of his time. He was a servant of all. He washed the disciples' feet, but when he walked through the temple area there, he sent the money changers scampering over one another because they'd seen the fury in his eyes. He saved others. Himself he did not save at the last. Nowhere in history is there such a blending of opposites in one person. Let me just close with this illustration. David Livingston was born in Blantyre, Scotland in 1813. When he was a young boy, he prayed marvelous prayers: send me anywhere, only go with me. Lay any burden on me, only sustain me. Sever any ties, but the ties that bind me to your heart. And through it all, God said to him, Lo, I'm with you always, even unto the end of the age. He went into Africa and sent his wife and family back home because of the rugged conditions. The next time he saw his wife was after 5 years. But when his wife saw him, he had walked into the branch of a tree, blinding one eye. A lion had attacked him and torn his shoulder apart. He walked with an awkward walk. But after he went back to Africa with his family, it was not long after his wife set foot on African soil again. As a matter of fact, the very day she set foot on African soil again, diseases began to plague her, till he had to bury her there. And then he prayed this prayer by her grave: My Jesus, my King, my life, my all, I again consecrate my life to thee. If I can do anything in your service and in your kingdom, so is my plea. And he said the words of God came to him: Lo, I'm with you always, even unto the end of the age. One night, amidst a thundering storm, he was being carried from village to village on a stretcher because he was so sick. Finally, taken into his little shack and emptied out into his cot there as he was trying to get some sleep. And he asked his national brothers, please help me onto my knees. I need to pray. And as he was praying there, they left him. But they looked into the room. 5 minutes later, still on his knees. 10 minutes later, still on his knees. 20 minutes later, still on his knees. They walked him and shook him by the shoulder because he was so weary. They wanted him to get some rest. They said, Bwana. Livingston fell over dead. He had died exactly the way he had lived, in the presence of his Lord. How did he do it? Hearing the voice of the needs of people from other parts of the world, sensing the pressure in his soul, bridging the gap, moving in within their framework, he communicated the person and the power of Jesus Christ. The early church was as big as you and I are in this auditorium. They had greater obstacles than us. We've got thousands more to stand with us, and the power of God. God bless you.